Is it the end of Magnus? Maybe. Like, he's got the money, he's got the girls, he's got the fame. Why would he care? Like, tell me why. Alright, let's go into the game. So, Polish player Radosław Wojtaszek played against Magnus. And Magnus played pawn to b5. With white, pawn to b4 is called the Polish opening. So maybe this was like anti-Polish. Playing Polish opening with black is a bit weird. Pawn to e4, bishop to b7. Alright, he's fighting for the center, but now we could even push, and like this bishop is dead. Alright, so bishop d3, a very good developing move. I don't see any problem with it. We defend the pawn and also develop the piece. So knight f6, putting more pressure onto this pawn, and we defend it. But why don't we play here? Obviously because he will play pawn to b4. And there's second reason. We want to use this c pawn to defend the center. So pawn to c5 and now c3. You can see that we already are pursuing this idea. So takes, and yeah, we have a very strong center. Pawn to e6, knight to f3, knight to c6. Everyone is developing the pieces, but white has stronger center. I would really much want to play with white and never would agree to play with black. Castles and pawn to a6. Why? Well, he wants to defend the pawn, you will say, obviously. But it is another waste of tempo. Like, he could have played bishop to e7, after bishop b5, queen to b6, attacking the bishop and the pawn, so white would play queen a4, and okay, we didn't get the pawn back, but at least we have almost all of the pieces developed. Rook to e1, putting the x-ray onto the king, bishop e7, pawn to d5. Wow, a very good move. We are breaking up and opening up the center to attack the king. Takes. Sorry, it doesn't take. He pushes to e5. Very nice. Knight to b3. Wow, I had the same game, I think, one I played like 5 days ago. g6 and bishop to h6. Well, I didn't play bishop to h6. I think I just played knight to d4. So yeah, bishop h6 is so much better. Rook to g8 and bishop to e3. Oh yeah, that's what I did. I didn't play knight to d4. I played bishop to e3, but I didn't play bishop h6 before. And then I went to knight c5. I also traded. Wow, that's very similar to the game I played. And then it doesn't look similar anymore because, yeah, I did something else. Never mind. Rook to c2. But as we can see, Wojtaszek has huge activity on the c file, and the king is in the middle of the board. Like, white is so much better. Bishop to g5, cutting through the black squares. Bishop e7, bishop to f6. No, we don't want to trade. We just want to place our bishop on a huge, very strong outpost. And knight to g7. Magnus is moving back. Queen to d3. I don't see idea behind this move, but maybe because I'm not a GM. Well, it's blocking the bishop and it's not really doing anything. Bishop takes, pawn takes, and knight h5. I think this knight came back to h5. This knight is just running back and forwards. Queen to c3 is the idea, just to triple on the c file. a3, some waiting move, queen to b8, Magnus doesn't have anything good to play, and pawn to g3. We are just improving the position step by step. We don't need to speed up, we just avoid some background mates, we protect the f4 square, we don't need to rush. And pawn to g5, some desperate attacks. Rook to e1, pawn to g4, and knight to d4. Very simple. Maybe going to f5 and e7, d6. Nobody knows yet. Rook to g5. If your opponent doesn't allow you to do something, put even more force to do it, to annoy them. Bishop to d3. We are trying to control the f5 square. So he plays rook to e5. trading the rooks. And knight to f5, rook takes e1, queen takes e1. Well, I don't see any good plan for white, to be fair. The position is very stagnated. Yeah, black just takes the pawn. Because why not to? And queen to b4, whoa. What is going on? We are threatening knight to d6 and some discovered attacks. So that is so crazy. He plays pawn to d6, protecting the d6 square with the rook. Queen to c3, coming back, attacking the knight, and maybe penetrating to h8. Knight to d7 and queen h8. Yes, that's right. Knight to f8, queen to f6, now threatening checkmate. So knight to g6 and rook e2. Wow, those rooks have been on the c file and e file so many times in this game. Queen to c7 and knight to g7. This knight cannot take because it's pinned. And that's GG. Because if this king goes to d7, we play queen f7. After king c8, we play queen takes e6, and that's it. If the king goes to f8, whoa, then we go knight takes e6, king e8, and even knight takes c7 is the simplest way to win.